All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order today at 7 o'clock. Okie dokie. Let's see, citizen communication. The Planning and Zoning Commission welcomes comment on items relevant to the Planning and Zoning agenda, or committee, not already scheduled on tonight's agenda. In accordance with the Texas Attorney General's opinion, any public comment that is made on an item that is not published on the published agenda will only be heard by the commission. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made by the commission. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and will be asked to state his or her name and address for the public record. Is there anyone present wishing to address the commission? All right, on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the commission and will be enacted by one motion. These items include preliminary and final plats where staff has found compliance with all minimum subdivision regulations. All items approved by consent are approved with any and all staff recommendations. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If any commissioner desires to discuss an item on the consent agenda, it will be moved to the regular agenda for further consideration. Commissioners, are there any items on the are there any items on the commission that, hold on a second, I gotta read this. Are there any items the commission wishes to remove from the consent agenda?
No. I would like to remove 3C.
All right.
I just have a few questions.
3C will be moved to discuss and consider.
Everyone.
Okie dokie. So items to be considered on the consent agenda are item 3A, item 2026-0117, approve the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes for January 5th, 2026 regular meeting. And item 3B, item 2026-0124, approve the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes for January 5th, 2026 work session meeting. I'll accept the motion in a second to approve items 3A and 3B.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in...
We were simultaneous.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, item 3C. We're going to be discuss and consider. So items on the consent agenda may be pulled and moved to the regular agenda if the commission requires discussion on an item. So item 3C is 2026-0036, approving a final plat for Lifestyle Communities Phase 2, a 17.564 acre tract of land out of the Thomas G. Stewart Survey number 6, abstract number 689, Travis County, Texas, FP 2025-000504.
Okay, good evening, Commissioners. Just for the record, Ashley Bailey, Deputy Development Services Director. We don't typically do full presentations on these, so would you like to just have your questions and we'll answer?
Yeah, I just had a few questions. And maybe this is me also not fully knowing exactly kind of where the parkland dedication decisions go to. Is that, so within this one, they have a parkland dedication of $131,000, $132,000, and then a park development fee of like essentially $114,000. Is that part of the final plat? Does that go to the Parks and Rec Commission?
That is approved by the Parks group based
Okay.
on the ordinance that's adopted right now. So the fees are set by the fee schedule that was then, and then the calculation is part of the UDC. And that's
Okay.
part of what last time you would have heard that they're looking at updating. Obviously,
Yes.
we have not done those updates yet.
So I know the Parks Commission can also make a choice of not recommending a parkland dedication if they have questions or concerns related to it. So I was trying to find details of, have they provided any information as to why they're doing a fee in lieu of actual development?
So typically it would be with this final plat that the parkland was not contemplated with the preliminary plat, so there was not space to add in that parkland. And this one has a development agreement that goes back probably to the early 2000s. So we're still beholden to the old development agreements on how this entire development was going to be laid out. So they're still going back to those old ones going, well, we didn't plan for any parkland there. So where we can, when parkland or roadways and other items are changed, we certainly try to negotiate for that. But this is one that we already knew was going to pay the fee in lieu.
Okay, and that's because the original layout was
Yeah, and
provided.
even the
Okay.
preliminary plat or preliminary plan that was already approved, it didn't show parkland for this tract, so then we don't end up having it for this tract.
Okay. All right. I just see like a large piece of land. I'm just wondering, but that makes sense if they already have a plan. And then whenever there is like information related to how it's being developed, because I see here the plat that's provided, it's just kind of like, the area, like the property outline, essentially. Okay. But if we wanted to see how this development is actually being laid out or recommended to be laid out, you'll have that information. It's just not
Yep.
provided within the staff report.
Correct. Once the preliminary plan is already approved, we don't typically put those back in the packet just because those are really large files, but we can always get that for you if you're interested in it.
Okay.
And some of that might
And should
actually
I
be
know
linked-
that because this is a final plat, that means that there is a final layout,
Typically.
a parkland dedication has already been approved? So, okay, so it's not up for discussion.
Well,
Okay,
and sometimes,
okay.
so, but then I will say, not on every final plat. So on this one, yes, because it's part of more of a master plan development, just because this has been around for a very long time and it really covers a lot of area. So we have a much larger preliminary plan. There may be final plats in the future that are more of an amended plat, which is a final plat type, or a replat, also a final plat type, or even a minor plat, which is typically smaller, less lots, no public extensions of any of our sidewalks, water, wastewater lines, things like that. But those will be the ones that you might still see some parkland. If it helps when we have those plats come forward and there may have been a parkland decision, we can certainly add that into the staff report so that you're getting a more well-rounded on the ones that we haven't already discussed on parkland. But on this one, parkland had been decided.
Okay,
ages ago.
yeah, that would be helpful,
Okay.
especially if there's some kind of like fee in lieu of, or
Certainly.
there's just a little bit more of an understanding of why, and,
And
if
certainly
that
if it's-
decision's final and why that decision's final, it would be helpful.
Yeah, even if there was like a decision that was made by Parks, we can always put that in the staff report if that was done at that time.
Okay, great. All right, thanks. That's all the questions I have.
I can only speculate, but just if it's helpful, I live over there, and this property is very close to the Stonehill Park, and so I'm guessing that they made the decision and the city agreed, rather than build a small pocket park for this piece, it'd be more useful to have that fee in lieu to improve the facilities at Stonehill Park, because it's 3 or 4 blocks away. It's very close.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions or discussion? All right, I will accept the motion to approve as drafted.
So move.
Have a motion,
Move to approve.
have a motion and a second.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you very much. I adjourn the meeting today at 7:08 p.m.